Hello, everybody. Welcome to STATURDAY Chat Live here on September 25th, 2021. It is good to see you amazing souls out there. This is a very exciting day for the channel. So if you've kind of been paying attention to things and stuff like that, right now the channel is at 249,978 subscribers. So 22 more and we will hit the quarter million. I can't believe I say that. Quarter million mark on the channel. So it's been a long road. I want to talk more about that. As you all know, I don't do YouTube. I don't teach you all and talk to you all for the glory or the fame or the subscribers or the money or anything like that. I do it to help. But, I'm very proud of the channel. A lot of work has gone into it over the past 9 years, and to see it cross this quarter million mark really is pretty spectacular. So, I definitely want to mark that and celebrate it. So today, at some point, 22 more people will deem the channel worthy, and we'll cross that mark. So let's see what's going on here. Whoa, lots of people. You all are awesome. Hello. Kamalindu, very good. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for stopping by. Bargab, thank you for stopping by. Again, as I always say, I have a lot of viewers from overseas, so I'm not familiar necessarily with the proper pronunciation of some of your names. I do apologize. I do my best. So if I mispronounce your name, I am sincerely sorry. But thank you for coming by. Okay. Mohammed, very nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Larry, buddy, what's up, dude? I'm still working on that thing for you. It's a bit complicated, so we'll touch base on LinkedIn. So hope you're well, my friend. Hope you and the family are doing well. Hello, Leah. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Pushpam, good to see you again. All right. Yes. Thank you so much. You are awesome. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. All right. Maria, good to see you. Oh, this is great. So many of you. Harish, thank you for coming by. Let's see. Good, I got it right. I got it right. Glenn says, Brandon, thanks from an older student and life learner. Statures will appreciate the reminder of how far I've come before we get into a topic. Glenn, you are absolutely right, my friend. Life is a journey. Twists and turns and ups and downs, and sometimes we go backwards and forwards and spiral around, but as long as our general progress is forward, then that's what matters. So I'm glad you find the channel helpful. I'm really happy for your success, and I know you will continue to do great, Glenn. So thank you. All right. Mohammed, hello. So Larry, I'll get to your other comment here in a second. So yes, there's a lot going on right now. As I said before, the channel's getting ready to cross, in a matter of minutes, 250,000 subscribers. So what I have planned for that is I'm going to do a live stream in 2 weeks from now, like usual. But 2 weeks after that, so 4 weeks from today, I'm going to try to put together a special stream. I'm going to call it 250,000 Reasons Why. And what I'm going to do on that live stream is try to have some of you on the live stream. I may record it and then stream it, but maybe an actual live stream. We'll see. I'm going to call it 250,000 Reasons Why. And I want some of you to come on and talk about your success, something you're proud of that you've achieved over the past few years. It could be a career thing. It could be a school-based thing. It could be just a life sort of thing. So I want to have some of my more engaged viewers and here in the live chat, and especially on LinkedIn, to maybe hop in the stream, and we can just kind of talk, as a small group of us or me and you or whatever else it might be. So I really want to make this milestone in the channel of 250,000 subscribers not a celebration of me, but a celebration of all of you, because that is the only reason I'm here. You make it possible. So the way this will work, and I'll put out more information the next few weeks, is that if it's something that you might like to do, you have to contact me through LinkedIn. And there are reasons for that. So it has to be sort of a communication process that occurs through LinkedIn. It can be, on the internet, many people are sort of strangers and stuff, but I sort of need a way to sort of validate who everyone is and sort of what your background is and stuff like that. So it has to kind of come through LinkedIn, and we would probably go back and forth a few times before we commit to having you on. It's not a big commitment. I'm thinking about having people come on for maybe, 10, 15 minutes just to talk about their work, what they're proud of, something they really have celebrated. Again, could be a career thing, it could be a school-based thing, or just sort of a personal project you've worked on or whatever else. It's not about coming on and telling me about the channel or anything. I don't want it to be like that at all. It's about you. So, I will post more about that on YouTube. I'll post more about it on LinkedIn, and I'll try to get that set up over the next 4 weeks. So again, we're going to call it a 250,000 reasons why, and that'll be our live stream. That is a celebration of the subscribers to the channel and my followers and connections on LinkedIn, because at this point they're kind of the same thing. So if that's something you think you might like to do, reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I'll kind of keep a list of everyone who might be interested, and we will try to get something set up. It'll be for this time, during noon Eastern U.S. time, and we'll see how it all goes. But I want it to be a celebration of you. So, all right, I'll mention more about that towards the end, but I just want to get that out sort of up front so you can begin thinking about it. Or if there's someone else that is on the channel or has used the content and might like to just talk about a success they have had, then let them know, and they can hop in on LinkedIn. So, all right, what's going on, everybody? So, Larry, glad you're all well. My family's doing okay. For those of you who don't know or are new to the channel, back in March, our family home burned down. Luckily, everyone was fine. My parents were not home, but it is the house my grandmother built. And so it's been a traumatic experience the past 6 months. However, they are fine, and they've made progress on rebuilding our family home, and it's starting to come back together, and it'll be exciting when my parents can move back in and get back into their normal life they had before the fire, which was obviously extremely scary. So, Larry, thank you for the question. They are doing okay. We're all doing okay. Especially this all happened during COVID on top of that. So thank you. Doing fine. All right. So, Milagros, nice to see you from Lima. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope you are well. All right. Who else we got here? So stats videos are great. Thank you very much. You are fantastic. You are fantastic too. Just started studying machine learning, and your videos help a lot. Awesome. So I'm glad they help you on whatever your career path is or whatever your just curiosity is. I'm glad the channel fits that need for you. I've always said that I'm just like a bridge, like you come to a little stream or a little, obstacle on your life's journey or career journey, and I'm just kind of there to help you across that little bit, and then you go on your way. And I wave and you go on your way. So if the channel has helped you on this part of your journey, Kamalindu, then that's the reason I do it. So I'm happy that you're getting into ML, and hopefully someday I'll do some actual videos on ML. So, all right. All right. That's right. Wahoo. I like it. Glenn's like, good. It's giving me 4 weeks to master nested F tests. Nice. Robert, good morning. Good morning, Robert. Hope you are well. Thank you for stopping by, my friend. Let's see here. Bushman needs some clarity on NumPy, scikit-learn, and TensorFlow. The best place, I think, there are many resources online where you can do that, of course. The documentation for all those is actually really good in and of itself, but you can find many free resources, YouTube being one. Udemy courses, of course, are very good, and there are other ones. Coursera probably has some courses, and some of the other marketplaces have courses you can follow. So, yeah. So, let's see here. All right. Jai Krishna, hope I got that right. Nice to see you. Hope your channel encouraged me to revisit statistics after 20 years of graduation, applying it quite aggressively to my professional front. That is awesome. That's awesome. I'm so glad that the channel has helped you come back to things. It's never too late to learn. So, just keep at it. Just keep at it. So, the study path to become an ML engineer. I may not be the best person to ask that, but from what I know, of course, for the ML background, of course, you will want to, obviously, practice, coding techniques and stuff like that, but also the statistical background. I'll also encourage you to read about the subject area or the discipline in which you might want to work as an ML engineer. So is it like in finance? Is it in business? Is it in medical fields or whatever else? To also read in the general area of the domain knowledge area that you want to be an ML engineer in. You know what I mean? So I think it's a multifaceted approach. That's the way I take my learning. So I always I think of my learning in 3 dimensions or even multiple dimensions of, there are technical skills to have, there's content skills to have and knowledge, but there's also discipline, knowledge, and skills to have. So read books, periodicals, newspapers, whatever else about the area in which you might want to be an engineer. So, but there are many paths. There is no one path really to anything, honestly. So, there's a Data Science Central is a good website you might want to check out. They have a lot of career advice on there. It's Data Science Central, I believe. You can check that out. And of course, LinkedIn. So there are many LinkedIn groups that have career advice, but also specific discipline career advice. So you might want to check out those groups and or hashtags on LinkedIn. They're a great resource for those sorts of things. All right. Let's see here. First time to chat with you. Anish, thank you for coming by. Appreciate it. Can you ask me anything? Well, within reason, but I'm a fairly open book. Let's see here. Thank you for your awesome videos. All right, Semper, you are very, very welcome. Appreciate that very much. So it's glad to see you all are doing very well. If this is your first time here, just keep in mind I try to keep the live streams around 30 minutes. Many times they go over, but I try to keep them around 30 minutes, ish. One, because you don't want to hear me drone on for a lot longer than that. Two, I have to save my voice because I do all kinds of work that requires my voice, and I've been doing a lot of it lately. And if I use my voice too much, it's going to go away. So I want to protect my voice. And three, we all have other things to do today, right? So I have things to do, you have things to do, and we're not going to sit here and, just do a live stream for the sake of it. So we'll keep it around 30 minutes, or so. All right. So George, so statistics, ML, subject matter expertise, yes, and programming. It's a great way to summarize what I was talking about earlier. So, George, good to see you again. Thanks for stopping by. So Glenn says, seems strange in statistics to be able to work the formulas for statistics and not be able to visualize what it really means. That's true. That's kind of one of the reasons why I do my videos the way I do them. I use a lot of visuals and animations, of course, to try to help learners understand the fundamental concept of what is going on. Also on the web, you can find a lot of interactive applets that are written in like D3 or some other language where you can actually interact with these concepts. They're kind of small simulations and stuff like that. So you can seek those out to understand sort of the fundamental thing of what's going on. So, yeah, I mean, the mathematics and everything is one part of it, which I think, depending on your path, your career path and your education path and stuff like that, all the formula stuff may be important to you. But I think for the majority of people, probably, all the math and formulas is not their primary concern. It's really about how to utilize it, let the computer do all the math, but then realize what it's doing to interpret it, and then communicate those results to someone else. So, yeah, it just depends on what you want to do with, with your learning and career. But yeah, there's, and sometimes it can be the opposite. It can be the opposite, right? Where people have a conceptual idea of the learning, but don't understand any of the math. So it's kind of a balance, just kind of a balance. So yeah, so first degree regression seems straightforward, but higher degrees I seem to understand the models and videos I look at, but currently not positive how to pick or develop a model on my own. Yeah, and that's another thing, right? It is the process of identifying what the problem we're trying to solve is, or the problem we're trying to address through our analysis. So it really starts with the question. It's not putting the cart before the horse. It's not like, oh, I want to do a multiple regression. So what problem should I ask so I can do a multiple regression? No, it's the other way around. What problem do we have at my company or what other project I'm working on, whatever else it might be? What is the question? What is the problem we're trying to answer? Then try to go back to the appropriate technique or techniques in most cases and figure out the best way to implement those techniques to answer the question that you had at the beginning. So it's, thinking about the problem first and then the techniques, to apply to that. So, all right. That's awesome. 65 and want to be a data scientist. You go for it. That's awesome. You go for it. All right. Let's see. What's the best course of action on handling interactions in ANOVAs? Well, it's just making sure, it depends on, Larry, depends on a couple things. There's no harm in looking at interactions, and how you implement those will depend on the software you are using. So obviously something like Excel, which is not a stats software package, it's very manual if you want to do interactions. If you're using proper software that's built for stats, say Jump or SPSS, Minitab, there are other ones out there, of course, then you can do the crosses in the actual, when you build the model, you can do like the first order one, then you can do the crosses and then analyze them. So handling them is part of the implementation, and then of course the interpretation, of course. So really, you can just build out several models, some of them with or without the interaction terms in them, and see which ones are significant, So, yeah. Maybe we can talk more if you have any other specific questions. But it just depends on the problem. It depends on the variables involved. It depends on the software package you're using, and it depends on the domain area that you're working into, of course. So, all right. Let's see. Why don't you move into multivariate statistics? There's really a need for someone like you in this area. So by multivariate stats, if you mean, obviously, my biggest playlist is multiple regression. However, multivariate stats and multivariate methods are a whole massive branch of statistics that are like, actually my favorite book over there, the Tabachnik book is over there. It's a whole book about multivariate methods. So I am interested in those methods. There's so many under the umbrella of the general linear model. There's so many of them. I am interested in doing videos on them. Of course, as I always say, it's an issue of time. YouTube is not my full-time job at all, and it's just a matter of time. It's also a matter of reach. So as I said in previous live streams, for me, I have to weigh a couple of things. So I could do, like you just said this, you know, so structural equation modeling, factor analysis, and stuff like that. So what I have to do is weigh the time it takes to do a video on something versus the potential audience for that. And the more niche topics get, the more narrow the topics get in general, the smaller the potential audience for the time invested in making it. So I have to balance sort of those two things. Now, FA, I think that's pretty much something that I should do a video on. It's very fundamental to a lot of analyses and something like that. Structural equation modeling is much more complex. That would not be a video. That would be like an entire playlist on structural equation modeling. It can get very, very complicated very quickly. So yeah, when I pick topics, it just depends on a lot of factors to do them, But the main factor is time. It's just time. So, all right. Hi, Dr. Ash. Thank you for stopping by. Awesome. Videos help me in my MBA. Thank you. You are very welcome, Dr. Ash. I'm so happy that you found the videos helpful and helped you along your MBA path. So, all right. I'm checking in on something here. Oh, 20 more subscribers. Need 20 more. All right. Where are we at here? All right. So, I think your unique style and talent could propel people to actually see multivariate stats as something more useful. I agree. And I really, Ahmad, I really get enjoyment out of taking something that is very complicated and distilling it down into a way to teach it that demystifies it and makes it accessible. And people are like, oh, well, I get it now. So I like the challenge of taking those type of topics and making content on them. Just a matter of time. So, all right. Ooh, lots of good questions. A big audience today. I'm so excited. 15 years. Well, Metal Scorpion. First of all, I want to thank you for sharing this. These sorts of issues make us, vulnerable. When we go into interviews and don't succeed like we would like to. It's good to share these experiences, and hopefully some other people in the chat can offer some of their insights as well. But it says a 15 years working experience as data analyst, master's degree in stats and GitHub, still fail in data scientist interview. Any advice? So the best sort of things I can offer in this realm, and again, thank you for sharing this challenge, is multifaceted. So based on your experience, I would guess that maybe the issue is not your experience or knowledge, but maybe the interview process itself. And I myself, having never gone through a data scientist interview, I cannot speak from a first-person perspective on this issue, but of course I do interact with a lot of people on LinkedIn that are doing these sorts of things and stuff like that. And there are many, many free guides out there that you might want to look at if you haven't already, and you might have, that are usually under the title like How to Ace a Data Science Interview, or, preparing for data science interview questions, or stuff like that. That might help. The second thing is to reflect upon that interview experience and say, was there something that you felt you maybe could have done better at, just in your own self-reflection? Sometimes, a lot of companies are hesitant to do this, but sometimes you can reach out to one of the interviewers and see if, I wouldn't couch it as what did I do wrong, but sometimes they'll tell you why it wasn't a good match or a fit or something like that. And then on that note, the last thing I'll say about this Metal Scorpion is that, I am part of a lot of interview committees at my day job, and a lot of times it doesn't come down to skills or experience or stuff like that. A lot of times it's other intangible things that you or anyone else really can't control, you know? So every organization and every team has its own internal dynamics and its own internal things it's looking for. So sometimes they might be looking, for a person with a specific skill set, or they might be looking for someone who is local, um, or they might be looking for someone who meets other goals within the organization. So it's not always about skills and degrees. There are so many other things that go into the decision of whether or not to extend an offer to someone. So it's a complicated sort of process, but it is something you get better at. And I'll tell you just a very quick story, not to go off on too much of a tangent, but back during the Great Recession, so I was working on my PhD, and then the Great Recession happened, and then the bottom fell out of everything. I had no money, no nothing, and so I had to sort of give up that dream of earning a PhD. So during the next year and a half, I had 300 credit hours of college, to an advanced degree, master's degree. I applied for 180 jobs, 180, before I landed anything full-time. And the reason I ended up landing my first full-time job was this right here. My YouTube channel. So during that time, I could not find a full-time job. I was in my parents' basement. I had a computer. I had the internet. I had my knowledge and skills, and I could teach. So I started the YouTube channel, and boom, that was like 9 years ago. So here we are. It doesn't always doesn't always work out the way we think. But Metal Scorpion, hang in there. Look around LinkedIn, look around the internet for some guides on not only the skills part of an interview, but also the interpersonal side, the soft skills, and things like that. It's part science, it's part art, so. All right. It's a very good question. And again, Metal Scorpion, thank you for sharing that with us. All right, here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, Kermit says, I don't want my questions are being ignored. Goodbye, such BS. So sorry the live stream didn't meet your needs. I did not see any questions, but I will go up. Do you really need SPSS if you have Excel? The answer is depends on the level of analysis you want to do. So obviously Excel does not have built-in advanced statistical functionality right out of the box. You'd have to either use the data analysis add-in, which is basic, of course, or some of the third-party add-in to Excel. The one I like is called XLStat, XLSTAT. It's an Excel add-in that can do some really wicked things inside of Excel. So you might want to try that. So Kermit, I don't always get to every comment because they're coming in fast, and I get to the ones I can sort of as they're streaming in. So sorry you think the stream is BS, but hope you have a good day. All right. Love your way of teaching. I would really be happy if I could complete the playlist and have a certificate at the end. So one thing I like YouTube to do is actually do something along these lines, to be able to have sort of a skill-based assessment at the end or along the way. But that would be like turning YouTube into like a Udemy. But maybe they'll do that. I have thought about doing Udemy courses, but to have assessments and certificates and stuff at the end. But again, it's just a matter of time. I was contacted by LinkedIn Learning a few years ago to potentially do something, but then there was like a staff change and that kind of fell through. And my current employer may not, jive with that. So I have thought about doing, more formal courses with assessments and certificates. I wish I could do that. And I still might at some point, but, It's just a matter of time. So, all right, trying to go through here. So many comments. So Ahmad, please guide the path to become a business analyst. So my conception of a business analyst is someone that has even more domain area knowledge. It's really about the business. So it's fundamentally understanding the business and then what data is necessary to help the business meet its goals. So look at the business's mission statement, its credo, whatever objectives and goals it has set out, either at the entire company level or within specific functional areas. And then as a business analyst, figure out how to best meet those objectives and answer those questions. So a business analyst to me is much more a business person, or equally a business person as they are an analyst person. So even more so, I would say, healthcare. So if you're doing healthcare, I would just devour as much subject area content and knowledge around healthcare as I possibly could, and then marry that with, the analytical side. And I also think the last thing I'll say about this, and as a business analyst, it's also about being exquisite at communicating whatever results you come up with to the stakeholders, internal and external to the business. So it's about communication in terms of the presentation of whatever your findings might be in a way that someone who is not advanced in analysis can understand. So data visualization, writing things up in a layperson's way. That to me is, business analyst. So just think more holistically, I would say, as a business analyst. It's also good to have artifacts of things you've worked on. So it's like a mini portfolio or something like that. You can share, either publicly on a website or something you just kind of keep that you can share like through a link or something like that. All right. This is great. We are rocking. Glenn says, when I have trouble in interviews, it's normally how I communicated rather than what I communicated. I try and leave a little time to study something about interpersonal skills. Absolutely. And of course, there are many, many, many resources online about interview techniques and interview strategies, but I will say, I think just as important as, let me back up. If you enter the stage where they are giving up their time to talk to you about a position, they have already decided that on paper, you are qualified for it. Okay? They can look at your experience. They can look at your education. They can look at your cover letter. They can look at all the information on paper that you've submitted, and they have decided to give you the time for the interview. They already think you're qualified on paper. So, what the interview is largely about are things that aren't on that paper. So, how you approach things, how you do soft skills, how you do communication, examples of certain, occupational events. There are some standard questions, can you tell us a time when you had a challenge, or tell us a time you had a coworker that you didn't get along with, or whatever else. And they're looking for fit. Can this person enter our organization and be a good fit, in the dynamics? Because whatever else you don't know, like their internal systems, all that kind of stuff, you can learn. But is it about being a good fit and communication? So, and even if you're good at communication and are very personable, that doesn't automatically mean you're the right fit for that position necessarily, So there are just things beyond your control. So you just be as prepared as you can and ask good questions and have a good conversation. All right. That's right here. Murtaza, I'm going to complete my PhD in statistics. Could you please suggest me any job? Usually people who have PhD in stats go two directions. One of the obvious ones is academia. So, teaching and researching in academia. That's one of the most common routes. Another route is research in business, in industry. So I'll give you an example. Right across the road, right up the road from where I live, basically across the street from where my company's office is, which we haven't been in like 2 years. Anyway, is a research center for Procter & Gamble. So almost everyone on Earth has heard of Procter & Gamble. So they have this massive research facility. I mean, you can see it from space. It is ginormous. But in that building are hundreds of researchers that do product research, quality control research, and all kinds of things. And they work in industry. So that is a route that you could take with a PhD in statistics. And there are others, but those are the two I sort of see: academia and industry in like a research role. And nowadays, because data is infused in everything, there are these types of roles for even things like the New York Times or healthcare industry. That was one that was mentioned before. Data is part of everything. So in industry, there are lots of these roles that are potentially a good fit, But I do think it's also, if you're going to go the industry route, it's knowing the industry. That's what's important. You can't show up for a job interview at Procter & Gamble, all right, and not know any of their products or anything about the company. So, you have to sort of know that. See, if you're going to go the industry route. All right. Doing well. We are trucking. By the way, interpersonal skills are hard for me than regression models. Yeah, can be. Absolutely. George says, organizational cultural fit. Apply to companies that might like the kind of person you are, in addition to your knowledge, skills, and abilities. That is ding, 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 ding. Bonus super chat for George if you can. By the way, I do accept super chats on YouTube, by the way. You have $5? I'll take it. But George hit this right on the head. It's organizational cultural fit. You can kind of turn statistics on its head and make your own self-selecting process where you apply to companies where you think you might be a good cultural fit based on what you know about the company. So if you're like a super type A personality that's very sort of like aggressive and cutthroat and, extroverted out front and stuff like that, you might want to find a business that's more like that, right? If you are more, more reserved, I guess, or thoughtful or kind of more introverted these terms are problematic, but you know what I mean? If you're more like that, then you might want to apply to a company that's more like that for you. So it is about researching the company and the industry and figuring out maybe ahead of time what you might be a good fit for. All right. Let's see here. Sorry about that. That was loud. I've been working in the field of analytics for the past 8 years, doing everything but actual analytics. Oh, yeah, I could say a lot about stuff like that. How can I make the transition to real analytics where I can do modeling? Cigar, what I would tell you is don't wait. You can do this yourself by doing things like, you can make your own portfolio. You can do competitions on like Kaggle or something like that, where you can actually do, or Maven Analytics, you can do real projects based off data that you can have access to. And then you can post those results to your website or to your LinkedIn profile or whatever else it might be to show the world what you're able to do on the actual analytics side. You know what I mean? So, don't wait for your company, if that's really what you want to do, but you're not doing it, to do it for you. Or if you're currently in a position and you would like to do more actual analytics, then ask if you haven't already, and say, hey, I'm in the field of analytics, so I'm not really doing a whole lot of analytics. Is there some project I could work on? Maybe reach outside of your functional area and say, hey, can I tag along this project? sometimes you have to make the opportunities and look for them rather than wait for them to just happen. And you can do that inside your current business or outside your current business. So, yeah. So there are other ways to approach this, but I would just say take ownership of it, and yeah, and do it yourself. So I will give a shout out, Dr. Ash. Your YouTube story was the back of my mind. I started Mindset News of 400,000 subscribers now. That's awesome, Dr. Ash. Congratulations on your success on the YouTube machine. So make sure you check out Mindset News on YouTube. So thank you. All right. Okay. Love your tutorials. Lipsa, thank you so much. Lipsa. Again, I apologize. Boudica? Boudica is an actual person, by the way, from history. One of my favorite people. Different Boudica, but the name distracted me. What are the new research trends and topics in statistics? In actual statistics right now, what I kind of look for in this, I look at 2 areas to see what's up and coming. LinkedIn is the most obvious one because it's so current. I mean, it's actually to the minute, to the moment of something to look at. But also I look at journals from statistical organizations, So the ASA is the American Statistical Association that puts out periodicals. I think it's every month or whatever. They always have good articles about current trends, interviews from practitioners and stuff like that. If you it's not that expensive. If you have a little bit of money, it's worth the investment. If you are not already, to join a professional organization around your area of learning or expertise or whatever. So the American Statistical Association, the ASA, is one that I'm not always a member all the time. It just depends on my work situation and stuff. But they do put out great magazines and journals every month or so that really hit at this thing, So those are where you can look for the current topics and trends in any field. LinkedIn, and then a professional organization to which you can join. A lot of professional organizations have deep discounts for current students. So if you are a current student, you can almost join these organizations for free. Not exactly free, but at very reduced cost. And for the ASA, even the full membership is not that expensive. It's like $160 for a year. And you get all the magazines and everything as part of that. So I would check there. All right. Let's see here. So I'm not going to be able to answer this in real time because unfortunately I'm not a Wikipedia, but Soham, I can jot this down. If someone else in the chat can answer this, I'm so used to thinking of Lazer and Ridge. I've come across lease angle, but I haven't really looked into it. So if anyone wants to respond to Soham in real time, feel free. Go ahead. All right. We're at 45 minutes. Holy moly. All right. Yeah, Larry suggests, Glenn, you could try freelancing. That's another thing. So I didn't think about this. Thank you, Larry, for pointing this out. Another area is to do some freelancing work. And I encourage most people, I don't know how it works outside of the U.S., okay? But in the U.S., it's actually fairly easy to set up your own business, for the most part. So I always recommend everybody set up their own business, especially if you're in the U.S. There are so many benefits to setting up your own simple business that it can be a one-person business. A single member LLC is what I have. You can do freelance projects and other contract work and 1099 work. It's what we call it here in the U.S. under your business. So you have a business license, your own tax number, and you have your own business banking account. And there's really the only 2 things you need to set up your own business. And I actually use a company called Incorp, INCORP. I've been using them since I had started my business, and they do a lot of paperwork for you. So, I would recommend anyone to set up their own business in whatever locality you are to enable yourself to do other projects outside of what your normal job is. So, all right, what else we got? Oh, thank you. So yeah, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate the super chat. Every bit of money I make on YouTube pretty much goes back into the channel in some form or another. So I appreciate it. Can you suggest online sources that highlight on analytical and statistical reporting? I find the math and stats aspect easier than presenting the results. Yes. So there are many, many online resources that can help you in this regard. So obviously there are non-perishable soft skills that are very important, just basic communication, presentation, organizing thoughts and organizing sort of a narrative. I always encourage people to present in a narrative form. Tell a story about the data. Look into data visualizations. So I have the Storytelling with Data book over here. I'll get it. I'm famous for going to my bookshelf, so crap. Okay. So this is the Storytelling with Data that you can look at. It really helps with, communicating and stuff like that. So this is obviously about data visualization and stuff like that, but it is also talks about other things about presenting. As far as dashboards go, you have the big book of dashboards. It's more about visualization sort of as well. And then we have shameless plug. This is the book that I've worked on. This is part of my day job. So currently work at Cengage. And then this book is one we just published. So it has a whole section on communication called Telling Truth with Data Viz. So this is something that I worked on personally. So it isn't crap. And it's a good book. See, I'm right there. It's my name right there. So there are many aspects to communication that are they can be challenging, of course, especially when your audience may not be technical. So if your audience is not technical, then you have to adjust how you communicate those results. And number one is know your audience. So if you are presenting to maybe an internal team that does have a lot of knowledge and experience, then that's one thing. However, if you are presenting to more laypersons or individuals who don't have that experience, then you're going to have to alter that presentation a little bit. So sometimes you have to create, parallel versions of your reporting, depending on the audience that you are communicating to. And of course, there are many online resources that can help you with that. LinkedIn, of course, YouTube, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So yes. So I'll just try to focus on those. And I have to think of one more, is to run your presentation, when you're presenting the results, run it past a friend, run it past a colleague, run it past someone you trust that can give you good constructive feedback, that isn't going to hammer you for every mistake you might make, or it will give you good suggestions, and do that. Have someone look over your deck if you're doing a presentation deck or whatever else. So use other people as well. All right. Thank you for your suggestion. You are very welcome. So Lauren says, can't stick around. That's fine. We all got stuff we got to do, but your work is how I pass stats and finish my MSc. I appreciate that, but that's actually not true. The reason you passed is you. Lauren, you passed because of you. I was just there to help you along. So I appreciate the very, very kind comment, and I completely understand the intention of it. But I just want to point out that the reason you passed was because of you. Had you not come to YouTube or wherever else to find the help you needed, like so many people do not, you went and found the help you needed. You found my channel, our channel. It helped you. But without going to it, it never would have happened. So really, it's you. So congrats to you and your success. Okay. All right. So a few more minutes because we're getting close to an hour here. Actually consider freelance work helping small businesses to discover information about themselves. Absolutely. So, if you're looking to get a foothold in more like freelance work, it's good to reach out to people you already know. I don't recommend working for free. I think that sets bad precedents, not only for yourself, but it sets bad precedents for other people too. So I think you should charge something for your time. It may not be what you would fully charge necessarily, but it is important to charge something for your time. But reach out to people you already know, maybe a local business that you patronize, frequently, or set up your own project in some way. And you can get into the freelance world, sort of that way, And there are websites where you can do freelance work, but I don't know, with this type of stuff, it's a little bit problematic sometimes, I think. So, all right. Ben says, I'm leaving campus in my second year of college as a stat student, but with skills in data analysis using Python and R. If I'm to go for a data analyst role, how can I use the 2 years to my advantage? Just give me 1 second. My voice is going. Sorry. Well, Ben, the best I can offer here without exactly knowing exactly what you did, in your couple of years at college and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if this was a 2-year program or was like a 4-year program that you're leaving for some reason. Hard to know. If you're going for a data analyst role and it's the latter, where it was like a 4-year program, but you're leaving after 2, that can be a challenge. That happens. If it's a 2-year program and you actually completed the program, then of course you have that credential, you have that diploma, whatever else it might be. But the best way to use the 2 years you were there to your advantage is to produce, I think, some artifact of your knowledge and your experience there. So if you have something that you can post publicly, that you're comfortable doing that, either on LinkedIn or a website or something like that, where people can see your work. I know individuals have dashboards, like Tableau dashboards on the Tableau public website that they can share. Because of like things like OneDrive and Google Drive, you can create a folder in those cloud environments where you post work that you've done, that actually show the work you've done. It's much easier to convince someone that you're suitable for a role when you can show them literally what you've done, like a thing, like an actual tangible thing. And it also gives you something to talk about. So if you go into an interview and you have these things that you've done, it's a basis of conversation. You can like walk through like how you did it and how you approached it and stuff like that. I think it's very, very important, especially nowadays, for everyone to have something they can show as a result of all their learning and work. And that would go for everybody, So, all right. All right. So gain that us through self-initiated learning and research. Great. That's great. Well, take advantage of that. So think of things you did in your self-initiated learning and research, but then produce something like on the back end, something comes out of it. So all the inputs go into the machine of learning, and then at the other end of the process becomes something. All right. So, yeah, the book I worked on, we'll look for it. There's another question about that. I'll get to it here in a second. I can't answer this, but I love the question. Do you use theories from quantum mechanics for performing statistical analysis? Maybe I could if I looked into it more. I'm a huge science person, so like I sit and watch like YouTube videos and stuff about this all the time. So I will look into that. All right. Thanks for your guidance. According to you will give better return on investment? A Master Black Belt in Six Sigma or a data analytics course by IBM? As always, my answer is it depends. What do you want to do? There's probably going to be some overlap between these two. So obviously in a Six Sigma course, you will learn a lot of statistics and quality control and stuff like that, or data analytics course by IBM. I do not know a whole lot about what that course might entail in terms of the curriculum, but you can also ask around. So again, check here, a good place to ask is LinkedIn. It's obviously a business, and job-based site. You can ask around there, ask other people in the industry. If you are, investing time and money into these sorts of things, you can actually ask the organizations that are doing them themselves. Like, hey, if someone gets their Master Black Belt in Six Sigma, what sort of positions do they usually go into? What is the placement rate for someone who does this program? Same thing for the analytics course by IBM. You can ask them, what are the general career paths for someone who finishes this? And then you can weigh which one is sort of the path you think, one, is more likely to happen, and two, which one you enjoy. So just ask around, and the closer you get to asking someone in those fields, the better quality answer you're going to get. So try to hit it as close to home when you do this research. But either way, either one's better than nothing, of course, but just you want to make sure the investment and time and money you put into it is worth it on the back end based off a variety of factors, one of which is what you want to do, and two, which one gives you the best path for landing a position that you might see yourself doing, over time. All right, so the latest book, Data Visualization, looking for it on Amazon. Yeah, so this is the book that we just released. So our amazing team at Cengage. And by the way, the authors on this book, Cam, Cochran, Fry, Ullman, amazing. They're part of a whole suite of business stats book. If you look at my LinkedIn profile header, you'll see the entire series of books, like all of them. They're all in a row in my LinkedIn header. And this is the latest one in the series. Just came out. So it is the first edition, so I'm sure over more editions it will fill out some more. I'm very proud of it. Very proud of it. So textbooks work a little bit different nowadays. Because it's tied to online courseware where students do their homework and stuff like that. So this is obviously very, very good for someone who's in the chat, or a university that might be like a professor or a department head or something like that, who uses Cengage stuff and can get the book and the online homework as part of the same thing. So most people don't buy individual books anymore. It's kind of a different model than it used to be even 5 years ago, definitely 10 years ago. But yeah, this is the book we've been working on. So very proud of it. Our team is awesome, and the support we've gotten from Cengage and our authors is unrivaled. So that's that book. Yes. So Larry says, Glenn would like to provide some insight for you if you like on freelance. Yes. So Larry is on LinkedIn, very active on LinkedIn. So if you have some freelance type questions and stuff like that about what he does and freelance in general, contact Larry on LinkedIn. He's a super nice guy. He's been around the channel for a long time. He'll be happy to help you. All right. Tornique. I want to say thank you for the great videos you have. It helps a lot. You are very welcome, my friend. I'm glad they helped you, and thank you for stopping by. All right. Yeah. So connect with on LinkedIn. All right. So where are we at here? Oh, there you are again. Right now studying data analysis and machine learning at MIT. I'm curious if you plan to do stats playlist for Python. Probably not. not because I don't find it interesting. It's just a matter of time, number one. And two, there are already so many resources on that already, on YouTube, on the web in general, on, course marketplaces like Udemy, and stuff like that. There are so many, and books. There are so many out there already. I'm not sure me adding to it would help. And two, coding is not really my background. I go into Python or R when I need something, when I need it to do something, like a tool. The analogy I use is like, in my garage, there's a hammer, and I just go out and get the hammer when I need to nail something in. Otherwise, it just sits in the garage. So R and Python are kind of like that for me. They sit on my computer until I need them for something, then I use them, and then I put them away again. So that's my relationship to those languages. So I'm not maybe the best person to do that sort of stuff, I do have some videos that have some R in them here and there, but it's more of a tool for me than anything. All right, so Ben, yep, you are very welcome, Ben. Excellent. So Jen says, been following you for years, still think you're the holy grail for statistics learning. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you to say, Jen. Not sure if I'm a holy grail because no one's ever found it, if it exists, but the real heroes are you, Jen. So way to stick with it. I'm glad I could be of some help. Okay. All right. Yeah, edX has a course on stats in Python. That's just one of many. LinkedIn Learning, of course, I'm sure has some. So there are many, many, many resources where you can learn stats in Python. Also, one second. Here I go again. I pointed this out in the other live stream I did a couple weeks ago. If you're kind of new to the coding, environment and trying to get a foothold in that with statistics, the people at statistics.com sent me this book. It's R, but it's great if you are trying to kind of mesh together statistical concepts with some basic coding. So the coding, I like this because the coding stuff is very small. Like it's very tiny. You're not doing like whole pages of code. So books like, and there are other ones like this, that have coding examples. Oh, you know where I'm going. Another one. How about that one? So, Python for data analysis as well. As you can see, I use napkins as bookmarks. This is a more involved book. Oh, crap. Don't fall out. But that's one you can look at. And there are many others. These are just kind of two I have on my bookshelf. Oops, sorry about that. So, yeah, you look at those. I would recommend if you are going to do some sort of, merging of stats or whatever and the Python, that they have exercise files you can download, scripts or Jupyter notebooks or whatever else that you can follow along with. So most of them do nowadays. So make sure those are available. All right. All right. Sundaram, hope I pronounced that correctly. Came across your videos today. Realize I'm late. Thank you for the insightful videos. Helps a lot for the simplest understanding. Excellent. That's my goal. My goal is to make this stuff as simple as possible, so that learners that are maybe new to it or coming back to it can grasp it and get the concepts, So, all right. Well, if you have any last comments or questions, I don't want to point this out. Thank you, Lauren, for the super sticker. Where did it go? Oh, here we go. Thank you for the super sticker, Lauren. I appreciate it very, very much. I appreciate any support I get. So yeah, I do super chats here. I have like a tip jar. If you have like $5, it helps with like captioning and stuff like that. It just helps with the channel. I don't do this for money, as you know. So, all right, where are we? Holy moly. Okay, so just to refresh everybody, where are we at? So, as I mentioned at the top, today, hopefully likely, The channel will cross a 250,000. My voice was going. The channel will cross a 250,000 subscribers. I just need 20 more people to deem the channel worthy for them. So hopefully we cross that mark today. And just to reiterate, in about a month from today, or 4 weeks from today, I'm going to try to do a special stream called, what did I say? I had the name in my head. Something about a 250,000. Oh, I'm going to call it a 250,000 Reasons Why. And I want that stream to be a celebration of you all. You know, I'm proud of the channel, and it's been a lot of hard work. I'm proud of it, of course, but I want to make it a celebration of you all. So, you know, I might, if you're interested in maybe coming on that stream, I might pre-record that and then post it. I haven't decided yet. I'll let you know. And share something about a success you have in your career and your schooling, or a project you work on you're proud of. I want to celebrate you, not me. I want to celebrate you. So contact me on LinkedIn if that's something you might be interested in being a part of, you know? So you have to be comfortable, you know, being on a stream and talking and stuff like that. Just so you know, but if you want to come on, and it wouldn't be just necessarily me and you, but maybe, you know, 3 of us or something like that. We can cycle people in and out, but I want to make it a celebration of you. So, all right, last 2 things. Will Python beat Java in industry? Yes. All right. Shakir, oh, thank you so much, my friend. You all are the reason why I do what I do. So, all right, we've gone over an hour, and I want to get you on with your day. So, thank you so much for the support these past 9 years. Whenever you sort of came into the channel, I can't believe it's going to cross a 250,000 subs today. It's a number I can't even comprehend. I'm so proud of all you all, and thank you all for your time. The best thing you give me, is the most valuable thing you give me or anyone else, is your time. You know, time is finite. You can't buy any more time. You only get so much time on this earth, and you chose to spend some of it with me these past years, and I appreciate that more than you can ever know. So thank you for coming to the live stream today. I will be live again in 2 weeks. So that is October 9th. So the next stream will be October 9th. And then 2 weeks after that, 4 weeks from now, we'll do the special live stream, a 250,000 Reasons Why, where I want to have some of you on. So love you all very much. I hope you have a great, fantastic rest of your day, night, morning, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you live again in a couple weeks. So take care, everybody. Bye-bye.